Walked to my boss's office. I'm like, hey, look, I'm quitting. It's literally totally changed my life. I have gone from accounting to digital. Fast forward another year, it's still growing up and to the right, hit 50K a month. I ended up growing that one to like 20, 30K a month. And I also knew problems in the niche that nobody was talking about. I ended up selling Pest strategies for over $1 million. We do north of like 100 to 200 million. If you want to play this game long term, you're gonna have to build some links, okay?
Today we're joined by Shane Dutka. Shane, welcome on board.
Thanks for having me.
Let's start off by you telling us some of your background. I know I kind of teased a little bit of what you've been doing, but maybe give us even further back if you can.
Yeah, so my background, originally from New Jersey, graduated in 2013, passed the CPA exam, was like, I'm ready to do this accounting thing. For businesses, look at accountants as like overhead, right? Nobody wants to pay their accountant more money to like do better accounting. So you're not really like part of like generating revenue for a business. And I knew if I wanted to have a really, I wanted to create some real wealth for myself, I had to probably start my own business or do something like that. So I started an e-commerce business in 2017, selling bow ties. And I picked bow ties because it was a super lightweight product, easy to ship, seemed like a good idea. There was like the Moe's Bows thing on Shark Tank that was like, oh, if this kid can do it, I can do it.
Hello, my name is Mosiah Bridges, and I'm the CEO of Moe's Bows.
I basically just dumped all my money and like burned the boats. I was like, I'm gonna figure this thing out. Meanwhile, my whole room is full of bow ties. Like literally my whole room. I was in an apartment with 4 other dudes and there was bow ties all over the house. Out of desperation, I was like, I gotta sell these freaking bow ties. So I was like, how can I market this stuff? So today's video, we're going to go over how to tie a bow tie. SEO really caught my eye. I was like, oh, I can do some content marketing. I published an article called Bow Ties with Suits, and that ranked, and I was like, oh snap, okay, this is working. I'm actually getting money, but it's like bow ties. So like the niche is super narrow. I was making maybe 1 to 2K a month. I was like, okay, what niche could I enter that I think there's really low competition and I can like have a new voice in the niche? And pest control really rose to the top. It was 2017 around February, and I published, I don't know, 30. I wrote them all myself, so I'm an expert bed bug removal guy. If you need to learn how to kill bed bugs, like, I'm your guy. I know the tips and tricks, and I think we're probably at about maybe like 500 to 1,000, probably like closer to $500 a month right now, about 6 months in. But then fast forward a year, I hired a guy on ProBlogger for about 6 cents a word. Nice guy, but super kooky. Like, who do you sort of expect in your mind's eye about somebody who like their whole life in pest control? So yeah, 2018, we're at 10,000 bucks a month, pest strategies. And I walked to my boss's office. I'm like, hey, look, I'm quitting, like I'm making tons of money from pest control. I don't know what I'm doing here. So, and then fast forward another year, it's still growing up and to the right, hit 50K a month, Amazon, display ads, lead gen. That was the 3 sort of corner, like ways of monetizing. It's literally totally changed my life. I have gone from accounting to digital, and I'm like starting other sites now. I started a jewelry site. I ended up growing that one to like 20, 30K a month. That was called learningjewelry.com. Same thing. Like I found somebody who's an expert at jewelry and I said, here's your outline. And I was like, we need to make sure people, like when they come to our articles, they feel like they're getting a unique perspective. I ended up selling Pest strategies for over $1 million on FE International in 2019 of September. And then I joined up with this company called 3 Ships. So that's where we are today. We do north of like 100 to 200 million across 3 Ships. Mostly through affiliate. It's like 95% affiliate. That's kind of brings you to today, and happy to jump into anything specifically.
It's a pretty phenomenal resume, and I'm really excited to kind of drill into some of these things. Let me ask you this question. Which project of yours do you think is the most representative of a success in today's Google environment?
I would say when I sold Pest Strategies, the day I sold it was in its best shape because I was like I was all over it, 100%. I would say if you roll the clocks back to like September of 2019, that version of Pest Strategies is what I would rebuild today. But I think when you couple a decent domain authority with a unique perspective, I think you put yourself in a really great position to succeed.
No one gets out of bed in the morning and goes, man, just get me to my pest control project later today. That's just what I'm living for, right? So, yeah. But at the same time, I hear a heart and a passion in your voice for what you produce. Like, what other things can people learn from that you brought to the table in the content you created?
Working on a project and like bringing something unique to the market and feeling really good about that, And I think That's probably where it comes from. It's hard to explain.
I'd love to hear some details from you, whether it's keyword research, digital PR, link building, whether it's something specific about the way you go about building sites that allow them to get traction quicker than what we were probably used to seeing.
So Pest Strategies was successful because the competitors were very weak. It was relatively under the radar, the niche. So most of the keywords were pretty easy to target. I did do link building, I think better than the competition as well. My content was also very formulaic. You know, some people have mixed feelings about Brian Dean. I think he does a really good job of like simplifying SEO sometimes. And I saw some really good results from that. Learning jewelry, the reason that one was successful was very much keyword research. Diamonds is actually a really bad niche for like traditional like best vacuum cleaner, best diamond. Like it's so subjective what the best diamond is to each person. But what does translate is like best X company, because you're sending people to companies and they're like at a different stage in the funnel a little bit, and they tend to convert better and they're just better quality clicks. And that's exactly the strategy I took.
When you look at untapped content, are you using any sort of keyword research tools to go, like obviously zero search is something that people talk about, or is it more of a gut feel because you do seem to get so into the niche that you really understand it?
Like I saw it had some MSV, and I saw that not a lot of people were optimized for it. Like they were optimized for like tangent, like secondaries that they were sort of ranking because there was nobody else good enough to rank or optimized to rank. That dynamic allowed a smaller site to like slide into a big niche like that. And that was like the formula for success for that site. But that same formula could be used for any site, for sure.
How do you set up attribution like that? Any tips? I don't think most affiliate marketers are probably tracking on that level.
Yeah, so the affiliate platform that was set up was called Post Affiliate Pro. Basically, every page gets a sub ID, so you know which page is driving. And then you could actually have another sub ID, so within the page. And this also rolls into like A/B testing, CRO, things like that to actually really amp up the revenue of your site.
Yeah, and I mean, like you said, you didn't just use it to test offers and see which ones worked better, but you also used it to find keywords and new article ideas.
So I'm an accountant, right? So everything goes into a spreadsheet for me at the end of the month, and then I'll have like a formula that's like RPV, which is revenue per visitor. So you can be like, okay, the RPV for X page is $5, where the RPV for Y page is 2 cents. You know, it's like, so go where the money is.
Building a website and targeting keywords that most people would turn to Amazon for are easier to rank for. So it's a good strategy. Other people, maybe you would say, I'd rather go after the more challenging niches, but then have the higher payouts. Any thoughts on that? Because it seems like you have clearly chosen non-Amazon affiliate each time.
If you're a new person to this whole game, like content, like SEO, content sites, things like that, definitely go after the Amazon. You got to put a year in going after those Amazon keywords and just like learn how it all works. And then year 2, get a little bit more advanced. Be like, okay, I wonder what other offers I can play here. And then then go the more advanced route. Try to do what I did, which is like identify keywords that are underserved, and then have be in a niche where you can do both. Like Amazon for learning jewelry, I still used Amazon. I knew they were like best jewelry cleaners, you know, like that's Amazon, you know, like I still did it, and I still monetize with ads too.
Those of us who have affiliate sites, how do we add lead gen? Those of us who have lead gen, how can you merge into affiliate? How can we kind of get the best of both worlds?
So what you would do, what I did was I did both. I just intermingled the offers, but that would be in line injected into the article.
What represented the bulk of your revenue? Was it more swung towards lead gen, or was it more swung towards a product sale type of model?
So like a page like that, best bed bug traps, I mean, that would be like 80% affiliate product, 15% lead gen, and then probably like 5% ads, you know, because I would actually have ads on that page too.
Yep.
You really just don't know until you start testing, and that's kind of how I would approach it, you know, just that testing methodology.
What are big websites doing today that you are seeing working? And mind you, you have access to enough traffic and tools that you can try something and get answers a lot faster than those of us who are maybe running smaller websites.
Fresh content, Google loves recency. And I think going back to pages and optimizing them is critical. You want Google to look at your articles and be like, this is new. Something's new here. And you want that signal to keep happening on your pages. That's number 1. Number 2, link building, paying for links. If you decide that it's a good idea to buy a bunch of links to your site to help it grow faster, it will destroy your site. for sure, 100%. If you've been penalized, possibly for poor link building practices, what you should do, and this is my like Shane's doctor prescription for you, delete them. Delete the pages you built those links to. In fact, 410 if you can. Rank Math Yoast allows you to do this. Chop the page off, write the ship, say, I am not doing this again. Show Google that you're great. So those two things are huge. Tools like ClearScope or Surfer, these tools are important to make sure that you're staying on topic. Site architecture, hub pages are big. We use these constantly. I would say digital PR. You know, I said before, bad links will get you in the dumpster. Good links will like elevate you. Any niche fits this models. You can republish the exact same content.
My next question.
Yep. Yeah, you can do that. Maybe some slight tweaks just to like make it so that Google doesn't link the pages. And you're telling Google, hey, I've turned a new leaf. I am not associating myself with these websites. We are a good website.
And look up the difference between 404 and 410. Technically speaking, tell me if I have it correct. 404 is temporarily gone. 410 is, hey, Google, don't bother coming back because it ain't coming back. This article is gone for good. This URL is gone for good.
410, yes, 100%. 404 is like gone, maybe coming back, maybe not. That's
so
what Google
come back and crawl again and don't
exactly,
necessarily remove this from your index.
Exactly. 410 will get you slightly faster results is what we've seen.
The person who's been cranking away at producing content, but they've been at it for a while and they're maybe a little discouraged. They're not seeing results like you've had on websites. Like, you know, just any kind of final bits of encouragement that might help them keep pushing and start to see better results. If
you're not seeing results, make sure your articles match the intent of the keyword you're trying to target, and you should have one keyword per page that you're trying to target. So that's number one. Number two, link building. If you want to play this game long term, you're gonna have to build some links, okay? And that kind of stuff, you gotta put your PR hat on, and you gotta kind of think a little bit creatively, and you're gonna get links that no one else can get, and you're gonna create your moat that you can then go to market and sell your freaking website for $1 million. You know, that is what I will leave the crew with here.
It's good. That's good. Shane, you've been a treat to have on. Thank you for joining us. I really appreciate everything you've been sharing. So we're going to get a lot out of this.
Thank you for having me, and I'm glad to have helped out and add value.
We'll talk soon.
Thanks.